I know their record. Other than that, I don't really know anything about them. Haven't seen them played. Haven't had any cross games or anything like that. Really just learned about it today. So, um, I guess we'll start to get some film in and take a look at them.
You've coached Miami. Is it a city you enjoy? What are your thoughts on Miami?
It's a great destination. Enjoyed my 2 years there. Uh, a lot of good people, a lot of great friends, uh, tremendous amount of culture down there, good food and sunshine. It's a very very it's got to be in the top five in terms of destinations for a bowl game.
John, this will be your second bowl game. What did you, as a head coach, learn last season? Your second year as a head coach, that you can apply this year?
I think it's more about the balance between rest and work. How much work to get the young guys. Um, how to balance the time with the staff out on the road recruiting and who stays in and who goes out. Um, it's you have a lot of things going on at this time of year. I mean, even on my schedule, I'm only allowed one in any school. I'm only allowed one home visit with any given prospect. So, you can't spread yourself too thick in one area, and you got to be careful not to, spread yourself too thin in areas as well. So, it's a balance, and the big challenge right now is for us as a program is going to be, we got to work backwards from the 19th. So, a lot of that pre bowl stuff when is going to take place during final exams. So we've got a lot of logistical operations things to get ironed out before we go down there.
Everyone talks about the 15 bowl practices, but with the game on the 19th, do you lose some of those?
I think we'll do our very best to get the majority of them in. Obviously, again, you have to use discretion, and you want to. There's a balance. You can definitely overdo it if you try to get too many of them in too soon. I think we'll come close. It's still much better than the alternative, which is not practicing at all. So.
How's the preparation different with all the extra time you have for a bowl game compared to a regular game?
Again, I mean, it's you have an awful lot of different things going on. Your preparation is what it is. I mean, you have to be, more time doesn't necessarily mean you can do more things. I mean, you got to, hone in on the things that you do well. You get an earlier jump on the process. I think it affords you the time to teach and then review and reteach. So, if a typical work week is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. What a bowl game that gives you opportunity to do is have maybe shorter, more concentrated practices, and you could have a Tuesday install and then come back, watch that practice tape with your players, and then review the things that you need to review. So you can have a Tuesday review, and then Wednesday review, and then the same way with the rest of your week. So you're able to, again, practice a little bit shorter time, knowing that you're going to have a chance to go over those things in a repeat.
Coach Cooper says big game for the seniors to kind of leave their imprint on the program. What do you think the seniors need to do outside of getting the win to go out strong?
I think they need to continue to lead and help doing their part in keeping this team focused. This is a great reward for our team, but it's a business trip, and so we have to keep that in mind. And again, it's okay to have some fun, but we got to make sure that our work and the football stuff comes first. And that can be challenging when you go on bowl trips. Going back to what did you learn? When you're on a bowl, you're traveling everybody, so you've got 30, 35, 40 players who don't travel during the regular season that now all of a sudden are traveling, and you know, you have to educate them on what's expected and what the standard is, because it's their first time doing it. You know, it can be, you know, it can be tempting for guys to go outside the line. So we have, as coaches, we got to, you know, remind them that there are boundaries and that they can't cross those boundaries, and if they do, there's going to be ramifications.
Follow up there. What's the senior class mean to you in your second year here? How it helped you?
You know, they all mean a lot. You know, I always have a, you know, there's a special feeling that you have for seniors, because you know it's their last time to do something that they've invested a tremendous amount of energy, time, and effort into, not just in this program, but really throughout their playing careers. You know, from whenever they started playing, whether it's Pop Warner Junior High or in high school, if they started later, you know, for many of them, this is going to be the last time they have the opportunity to suit up and play. And if you know, there'll be a handful of them that'll have a shot to maybe go to the next level, but you know, that's not something that's guaranteed. And so, you know, when the reality starts to sink in that you're doing something for the final time, it becomes really real. One of the things that I've tried to stress here with our underclassmen is not to wait until that time, you know, and to really try to carry yourself in the mindset that a senior has, you know, that to have that same type of desperation, that same type of hunger to do everything you possibly can to, you know, to do your very best in every single game, on every single play. And I don't know that we're there yet culturally as a program, but that's my goal, and that's the direction that we're heading.
When you're thinking about the projections, hearing all the things about where you might go, where did this game?
This one was so much in the air. I mean, last year I think last year was a lot easier. I think you know, it didn't seem like there was as many options, but obviously with the success that Western had and the opportunity potentially for them to get the Cotton Bowl, which they did, which I'm very happy for them that they were able to get that, because you know, I've said it publicly already, but you know, they deserved it to go through our season in our conference, and to do what they did is very, very hard, and you know, not many teams have done it. And so you know, I felt like it was absolutely the right thing, that they definitely deserved to be in the Cotton Bowl. But because there were some questions there, it just, you know, there was a lot of things in the air. There was the, you know, if they did get there, and then if they didn't, and they fell down to one of the MAC appointed bowls, and what would, you know, that would, you know, push everyone back, or would they get a different bowl? And then, you know, so there was a lot of those scenarios that were out there. You know, fortunately, to be honest with you, I'm not really involved with that very much at all. That's something that our commissioner and the athletic directors, you know, work out. So, you know, I didn't really care. I really didn't. You know, I wish we were going to the Cotton Bowl. Someday we will, and that's, you know, that's kind of the focus. Of, you know, my thing was really is just kind of, you know, we got this time. Let's get some guys healed up, and let's work with some of these younger guys and see if we can bring them along and develop them, and then, you know, when the powers that be make a decision to where we're going, we'll gladly accept that. And, you know, I'd have been just as happy going to Boise or you know, Montgomery. Really, it's hold on. It's Jamie Drew. Anybody want to talk to her?
That's my daughter.
Okay. Hey, Jamie.
Talk to you, John.
Hey. I'm trying to answer. She hung up on me. I just, you know, I don't forget where I was at, but it's really, you know, it didn't really matter to me where we ended up. You know, I think the players would tell you they all wanted to be in Miami. You know, when you have an option A, B, or C, you know, as a coach, the first thing you want to look at is the matchup. You know, that was another thing that I learned about last year. You know, I thought Minnesota, thought we matched up with them really, really well, except for one area. Their biggest strength was, you know, matched up pretty well against, you know, one of ours. You know, and so I think that when I look back at that game last year, I think, you know, their secondary, particularly their corners, were a big difference in that game. So, you know, I don't know if that completely answers your question. I'm rambling a little bit.
You did rank Western Michigan 25th in coaches' polls. Is that a rivalry bias?
Absolutely, yes, I admit it. You know, they probably deserve to be higher. It's hard enough to vote for them. I couldn't bring myself to vote them any higher, and I knew that, you know, my single vote wasn't going to make that much difference. But at least I did include them, and you know, I knew that, you know, Ben Presnell kind of works with me on this week in and week out. You know, because Sundays are a pretty busy day. So, you know, Ben kind of gave me the advance warning. He said, you know, your last ballot's going to get published. And I said, yes. And he said, you know, you voted Western 25th all year long. And I said, yes, I know. And he said, do you want to change that? And I said, why would I do that? I said, I'm not going to, you know, I think that'd be a little bit, you know, maybe hypocritical or less than honest. I mean, so if I offended anybody, I apologize. You know, it's a rival, but at least I did include them in there. So
How tough is it to see them first?
I think it's, you know, I wouldn't use the word tough. I think that I think they've done an outstanding job. I mean, they've earned it. You know, it's not like it'd be tougher if you felt like you know, someone wasn't deserving. I think it's great for our conference. I think it raises the bar for everybody, and I think that that's a good thing. I really do. And so, you know, they've shown everybody what's possible, what can be accomplished. And if my stance is if they can do it, then why not us? And I'm sure every other MAC school feels the same way, and they should. You know, we are a great conference. We have great coaches. We have great talent in this league. I think it's very underrated in a lot of ways. And you know, I think it would have been a very big injustice if Western as an undefeated team didn't make it into one of those bowls.
Coach, what do you say to the people who don't think your team should be in a bowl game because of the way the season went for you guys and being 6-6?
Yeah, well, you need to be there. I'd say that there's 5 and 7 teams that are getting in bowls because of, so, you know, there's 80 bowl slots. You know, we're a 6-6 team. We won 6 games. We earned those wins, and we deserve to be in a bowl.